Hey guys, what's up? This is Let's Ride U.S.A. Today I'm just going to do a quick review on my 2007 Honda CRF230F. So some of the modifications I have to this bike are Pro Tapper red handlebars, Acrobus white handguards. I have UFO plastics on it with Geico Honda graphics. I just put a DID chain on it, pretty simple chain, no O-rings, just a standard chain. Got a White Brothers exhaust system on it, which sounds really good compared to the stock one. Then also have a DHC heat shield because this exhaust gets very, very hot, and I've burned many pants. I've burned my riding pants, jeans, sweatpants, all different types of pants on this exhaust pipe when the heat shield wasn't on it because it is that hot. And I think that's it for the upgrades on it. Oh, I also have an Outlaw Racing reservoir cover, which is pretty nice, adds just some cool red accents to the bike, so I definitely do like that. So over here, to show you guys around, choke right here, on and off, clutch, got the key. When the bike is not running, you want to always turn the key to the off position. Electric start, this bike only does have electric start, which it's okay. I've never had an issue with it, but a kickstart would be nice, but it always starts up right away, which is a great feature about the electric start. Front brake over here, which is a hydraulic disc brake, which is very nice. I just wish they would have done the same thing to the rear, which is a drum brake, which I'm not really, I mean, it works. It's definitely the best drum brake system I've used. I've used the one on the CRF230 and then on my XR100, and as well as, a couple others, friends' bikes that I've ridden around. But it definitely works the best out of the ones that I've used. I just recently replaced the brake pads, but even when they weren't replaced, they were somewhat worn, they still stopped pretty good. But it's definitely the best drum brake system I've used. But when you get a front brake and have a 230cc engine, I just think it makes the most sense to put on a drum brake, or not a drum brake, a disc brake, because it does add a lot of weight, and so does the battery, which is probably the biggest negative I can give about this bike, is the weight. Definitely the power to weight ratio definitely holds this bike back. There's definitely some areas where it doesn't need to be as heavy, like with the back drum brake, and of course the battery. Also some other areas, the exhaust definitely does, getting an aftermarket exhaust does lighten the bike up a little bit, but it is still a very heavy bike, which I don't really like. I think this bike should be a lot lighter, considering it is only 230 cc's, when my YZ250F over in here is 250. Of course, it is a race bike, but it is so much lighter. I mean, it's only by the book. The 230 is about 250 pounds, and this bike is about 230 pounds. So it's really only a 20-pound difference, but this bike just feels so much lighter compared to the 230. So sorry about the wind. Hopefully it's not too bad, but probably the best thing about this bike, and the reason most people get it, is because it's simple. It's a very easy bike to work on, to maintain. It doesn't need to be maintained that often, but I still do change the oil about once a month, air filter about every 2 oil changes, which for these bikes is probably honestly a little bit more than you need to, but I do it anyway. And pretty much every time I change the air filter, it's still pretty clean, so that's pretty nice about it. Got the battery on this side, the air filter on the other side. One of Another complaints I have about the bike is, where is that? How to change the oil. It's in a pretty stupid spot in my opinion. It's on the side right here. So when it flows out, it kind of gets all over the bottom of the frame. And it's also really hard. It's a giant bolt. I actually had to go out and buy the right one because I didn't have the right one in my toolbox. And it's hard to like fit a wrench in there, so you definitely need a socket wrench to do it. So it's pretty difficult, and it comes out with a spring and a strainer, and it's kind of hard to get the spring pushed in, and you got to twist it at the same time. It's way more complicated than it needs to be. So one of the biggest complaints about this bike is the suspension, just because it's okay. I mean, I think it's great for the woods. I've never had a problem with it jumping over logs, going through ruts and other stuff like that. It's absolutely fine. Jumping it, I've been able to jump this thing way higher than it's supposed to be jumped. It does bottom out, but you know, it works, it's fine. Only problem I really have ever had an issue with it is at the track. With all the braking bumps, it really does beat you up. But if you're not going to be on the track, you're going to be in the woods, the suspension is absolutely fine. Alright, now I'll just do a quick startup.